Hey, welcome. If you've ever looked at AWS and thought, okay, there are way too many accounts, too many settings, and absolutely zero consistency, then you are in exactly the right place. Today we're diving into AWS Control Tower, and by the end of this video, you'll understand not just what it is, but why it exists, how it works, and how to actually use it. Whether you're prepping for an AWS exam or just trying to get your cloud environment under control, this is the guide for you. Let's get into it. So first, what problem does AWS Control Tower actually solve? Picture this. You're a cloud architect at a fast-growing company. You've got one AWS account for development, one for testing, one for production, one for each team, and suddenly you have 15 accounts and absolutely no idea what's happening in half of them. Who has access? Are they following security policies? Is anyone logging anything? The honest answer is nobody knows. That's the chaos. And chaos in the cloud is expensive, risky, and really hard to fix after the fact. AWS Control Tower is the solution. It gives you a centralized, governed, multi-account AWS environment built on best practices right out of the box. Think of it like air traffic control for your entire cloud. Instead of planes flying wherever they want, you've got a control tower making sure everything is organized, safe, and following the rules. All right, so how does Control Tower actually set all this up? The answer is something called a landing zone. A landing zone is essentially a pre-configured, secure, multi-account AWS environment. It's the foundation, your runway if we're sticking with the airport analogy. When you set up a landing zone, Control Tower automatically creates a well-architected structure for you. You get a management account, shared accounts for logging and auditing, and a clean organizational hierarchy. It's not just a blank slate, it's a best practice environment ready to scale. For enterprises, this is massive. Instead of spending weeks manually configuring accounts and policies, you can have a secure, structured environment up and running in hours. Now let's talk about how that environment is organized. Control Tower uses something called organizational units, or OUs. Think of OUs like folders in a filing cabinet. At the top, you've got the root. That's the master container for everything. Underneath root, you get two primary OUs created automatically. First, the security OU. This is where your most sensitive lockdown accounts live. Second, the sandbox OU. This is the playground, where developers can experiment without putting production at risk. You can also create custom OUs for your own teams and workloads. The hierarchy matters because policies applied to an OU automatically apply to every account inside it. That's how you enforce governance at scale without manually configuring every single account. Inside that security OU, Control Tower automatically creates two very important shared accounts. First up, the log archive account. This is where all your CloudTrail logs and AWS config records are centralized. Every action taken across all your accounts gets recorded and stored here. You can read the logs, but you can't modify or delete them. That's by design, to prevent tampering. Second, the audit account. This is your security team's home base. It has read-only access to every account in your organization, so your auditors and compliance teams can review what's happening without being able to change anything. And here's a key exam point. You cannot rename these accounts after they're created. The names log, archive, and audit are locked in. Remember that. Okay, now we get to one of the most powerful features of Control Tower, controls, also called guardrails. Think of controls as the rules of the air. They're policies that define what is and isn't allowed in your environment. There are three types. Preventive controls stop non-compliant actions before they happen. They're implemented using service control policies, or SCPs. For example, a preventive control might block anyone from disabling CloudTrail. Detective controls don't stop things, but they flag when something is wrong, implemented using AWS config rules. For example, detecting if someone has made an S3 bucket public. And proactive controls go one step further. They check resources before they're even deployed using CloudFormation hooks. Controls can also be mandatory, always on, can't be turned off, or elective, meaning you choose whether to enable them. This flexibility lets you enforce hard rules while still giving teams autonomy where it makes sense. All right, enough theory. Let's actually set this thing up. Step 1 is all about prerequisites and preparation. Before you even open the Control Tower console, you need 3 things. Number 1, a management account. This is your AWS organization's master account, the one that will own and govern everything. Number 2, your home region. This is the primary AWS region where Control Tower will be deployed. And here's the critical point. Once you set your home region, you cannot change it. Ever. So choose wisely. Number 3, email addresses. You'll need unique email addresses for the log archive account and the audit account. These can't be reused from existing accounts. Getting these 3 things right before you start will save you a massive headache down the road. Step 2 is where the magic happens, launching your landing zone. Once your prerequisites are ready, you head into the AWS Control Tower console and kick off the setup. You'll configure your home region, confirm your email addresses, and then Control Tower takes over. It automatically creates your OU structure, provisions the log archive and audit accounts, enables CloudTrail across all accounts, sets up AWS config, and deploys a baseline set of mandatory controls. This whole process typically takes about 30 to 60 minutes. And here's the key exam concept. Control Tower uses AWS Service Catalog in the background to provision all of this. It's not just clicking a button, it's orchestrating a complex, automated deployment across your entire organization. When it's done, you have a fully governed, secure, multi-account environment ready to go. Step 3, and this is where ongoing management gets really powerful, is Account Factory. Here's the problem it solves. Every time you need a new AWS account, doing it manually is painful. You'd have to create the account, set up the right IAM roles, apply security baselines, and roll it in Control Tower. It's tedious and error-prone. Account Factory automates all of that. Built on top of AWS Service Catalog, it lets you provision new, fully configured AWS accounts in minutes. You define the baseline, the settings, the guardrails, the network configuration, and every new account that comes out of Account Factory automatically gets that baseline applied. This is how large enterprises manage hundreds of accounts consistently. And for the exam, Account Factory uses Service Catalog under the hood, and it automatically applies baseline settings to every new account it creates. That's a key point. Step 4 is all about visibility, the dashboard and oversight capabilities. Once your environment is running, you need to know, is everything still compliant? Is anyone violating the rules? The Control Tower dashboard gives you a real-time, at-a-glance view of your entire environment. You can see how many OUs and accounts you have, which controls are enabled, and crucially, the compliance status of every OU and account. Compliant means everything is following the rules. Non-compliant means something has drifted and needs attention. The dashboard makes it immediately obvious where problems exist, so you can jump in and fix them fast. For security teams and compliance officers, this is incredibly valuable. One screen showing the health of your entire multi-account environment. Speaking of things that drift, let's talk about drift. Drift happens when your actual environment deviates from your intended baseline. Imagine you planned a perfect flight path, but the plane drifted off course. That's drift. In Control Tower terms, drift can happen when someone manually modifies an SCP, deletes a required resource, or makes changes outside of Control Tower that conflict with your governance setup. Control Tower continuously monitors for drift and alerts you when it detects it. When drift is found, you have 2 options: investigate what changed and correct it manually, or use the re-register OU feature to bring things back in line automatically. The key takeaway: drift doesn't break everything immediately, but left unresolved, it erodes your governance over time. Catching and fixing it quickly is essential. Now let's talk about who gets access to all these accounts. That's where IAM Identity Center comes in. Formerly known as AWS Single Sign-On, IAM Identity Center is the centralized access management solution that Control Tower integrates with out of the box. Instead of creating separate IAM users in every single account, IAM Identity Center lets you manage all your users and permission sets in one place. You log in once, and you can access any account you have permissions for. Control Tower sets this up automatically as part of the Landing Zone deployment. The exam point here: IAM Identity Center provides centralized access across all accounts in your organization. One identity, one login, governed access everywhere. It's clean, it's scalable, and it's the right way to manage access in a multi-account environment. Once your environment is up and running, you might want to customize it further, and Control Tower gives you two powerful options for that. First, customizations for Control Tower, or CFCT. This lets you use CloudFormation templates stored in a code repository to automatically deploy custom resources and configurations to your accounts. When a new account is created, your customizations get applied automatically through a pipeline. Second, Account Factory for Terraform, or AFT. If your team lives in Terraform, AFT is your best friend. It lets you define your account vending process entirely in Terraform, stored in a Git repository, and deployed through a pipeline. Both options give you infrastructure as code capabilities, meaning your entire environment is version-controlled, repeatable, and auditable. This is the enterprise-grade way to manage a Control Tower environment at scale. Here's a feature that doesn't get talked about enough but is incredibly important for compliance: region denial and data residency. Many organizations have strict requirements about where their data lives. GDPR in Europe, data sovereignty laws in various countries. These rules mean you cannot just let people spin up resources in any AWS region they want. Control Tower's region denial feature lets you define exactly which AWS regions are allowed. Any attempt to provision resources in a non-approved region gets blocked automatically. On the map, your allowed regions are green, where your teams can work. Your denied regions are red, completely off limits. This is implemented via an SCP applied at the root level, so it affects every account in your organization. For compliance-heavy industries like finance, healthcare, and government, this feature is not optional. It's essential. All right, let's bring it all home. AWS Control Tower is built on 5 key pillars. First, Landing Zone, your secure, governed foundation. Second, organizational units, the structure that lets you apply policies at scale. Third, controls and guardrails, the rules that keep everything compliant. Fourth, Account Factory, automated, consistent account provisioning. And fifth, dashboard and monitoring, real-time visibility into your entire environment. Together, these 5 pillars give you everything you need to run a secure, scalable, well-governed, multi-account AWS environment. And the final exam point to burn into your memory. Control Tower is not just a tool. It's a framework for cloud governance. It brings together organizations, Service Catalog, IAM Identity Center, CloudTrail, AWS Config, and more, all orchestrated in one place. If you understand these 5 pillars, you understand Control Tower. And now you do. Thanks for watching. Go build something great.